Hello everyone and welcome to CodeBall. I'm Tom and today we've got something a little different from the usual console repairs that I have been doing. So something I've been thinking about for a while is working on a bit of a home automation system for the house. Now initially I was going to buy a Raspberry Pi, install Home Assistant, but at least at the time I'm trying to do this, you can't get a Raspberry Pi for love nor money. They just don't seem to exist anywhere. Chip shortage or something like that. So what I've got instead is, having done a bit of reading round, I've seen a lot of people are using Proxmox as a VM server and then installing Home Assistant on that. So I've bought off eBay, I think it was about £70. I've got an HP EliteDesk. It's got 16 gig of RAM. It's got a 4-core i5 with, it's a relatively old one. It's only 2 gigahertz per core. But it's in a nice little smallish package as well. And it should have plenty of horsepower to run Home Assistant and, you know, plenty, a little, or at least some spare for anything I might want to do in future. So, plan for today, I am going to follow this guide that I found online. Seems to be one that a lot of people point to. And take you along on the journey. I've already downloaded the ISO just to save a bit of time on the download. I've got that set up in Etcher. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this written to a USB drive and then we'll get this installed on the little server. Let's go. Right, so we've got Etcher. We're going to select a target of this 30, I think it's, well, it says 30.8, it's 32 gig disk. So we'll select that. We've got Proxmox version 7 onto that disk. Hit the flash button. And that needs my password. Word locked. Yes, okay, you can do that. So whilst that's flashing, we can read ahead slightly. So things we need to do: make the bootable USB. We're on with that. Insert the bootable USB Proxmox. If the machine doesn't boot from USB automatically, you need to enter the boot options by pressing this. Okay. So what we'll do, once we've got this validated, hopefully it writes properly. That looks like it has written. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to get this connected up to the little server. That's sitting there now. Oh, that's sat in there now. And let's switch over to the output. So it came pre-installed with Windows 7, I think it is. But that's not what we need right now. So if I click on that, you should get the output. Okay, let's go straight away. Windows has come up with a disk that it can't read. That's fine. What we're going to do is restart and see if it boots from the USB drive. I've just realised we need to do this as well. Before proceeding, make sure UEFI boot visualization. So what we'll do is we'll just restart this, power off. I mean, that looks bootable, that's good, but I just want to make sure we've got the virtualization is enabled and secure boot is disabled. So power this on, hit escape on this one to get into the BIOS. If you're trying to use this as a tutorial, or you're trying to follow along, that button might be different for you. So what do we need to do? System information, diagnostics, boot menu, computer setup. I'm going to say computer setup. And security, what do we want to do with security? We wanted to virtualization is enabled and secure boot is disabled. Is secure boot a thing? On here. Secure boot configuration. Secure boot disabled, that's good. Legacy support is enabled. Smart cover device security nowadays. System IDs. Quite advanced maybe. Where do we think virtualization is going to be? Power on, onboard devices, bus management operations. Okay, I might just have to go through all these. Okay, I couldn't find the virtualization options. I don't know, but I hope this supports the virtualization extensions. If not, does KVM work? KVM, I believe, is it's kernel virtual machines, but it's I don't actually know if you need the virtualization extensions on the CPU to make KVM work. Tell you what, let's go ahead, let's boot, let's find out. It looked like it booted from USB last time, so I've no reason to suspect this won't just come straight back up. Here we go. Okay. Insert the bootable device on Proxmox. Connect Ethernet cable. Okay, one moment whilst I plug some network in here. Okay, we should be connected back up with network. Let's hit the install option and see what we get. So next steps after this is, whilst it's doing its thing, we're going to need to accept the end use license agreement. Choose which disk you want it on, that's fine. Location, time, set a password and an email address. So this is what I was wondering when I couldn't find those virtualization extensions. Check BIOS settings for VT. Yeah, so it's I think it's the Intel VT extensions is what we need to look for. Okay, I'm gonna have a bit more of a look in the BIOS and see what we can see. Oh, although it seems to let me continue. We'll continue for now. If we can install it, I think we can make it work. Target hard disk is that one. It's the only hard disk in the system. Perfect. Country, I am in the United Kingdom. Just going to put something relatively insecure for now. I'm going to change this. Please enter. Okay, blur that out for you. Fully qualified host name. Why is the gateway not valid? IP address of your gateway or firewall. That looks like a pretty valid IP address to me. Oh, is this because it's doing IPv6? Whoa, hello. I don't know what's gone on there. It's possibly just crashed. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to start that again and look for the virtualization extensions to start a little bit more. Right, here we go. Virtualization technology directed. Yeah, we'll have some of that. Trusted execution technology. We won't do that then. No. Enabling this feature will disable OS management of the embedded security device. Prevent the embedded security device from being set or reset for an older virtual. I'm gonna say that can be disabled for now, and we'll see what we go from there. Okay, so let's save these changes and let's get on with the install. Come on, Proxmox installer. Oh, no support for KVM virtualization detected. That's interesting because I thought I'd enabled that. We'll go back and double check again. So we're going to install to this hard disk. We're in the United Kingdom. looks something like. Okay, so we are gonna install all based on all that information we just typed in. Automatically reboot after installation. Let's go. Okay, that looks like the install's complete. Now once this is rebooted, we should be able to access that from a web browser on our other computer. But let's let this reboot first. Okay, so we can see on the screen there. Well, it's probably quite small for you, but I can see on the screen there the IP address that we need to go to. So what we're going to do is we're going to flick over back to the computer, and then we are going to, okay, we can see the IP address on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pre-type this in on the other computer. So it's https:// on this computer. And then we got 192.168.1. And it's chosen 42, and it's 8006. Okay, so I've typed that in. I'll flick over to this computer. You should be able to see that now. And let's see if we can get Proxmox. Okay, this is no certificate. That's to be expected. Okay. Now, next question. What will the username be? Does this help us out? Yeah, except the username. Oh, username is root, and the password is the password you created. We can do that. Realm is standard Linux authentication. Yeah, you can save username for now. You don't have a valid subscription. Okay. I have seen something about that. So we're up and running. We've got Proxmox. Fantastic. Now, flicking back to this guide that we're following. This script, which is the same as this one. Yeah, it's okay. Provides options for managing Proxmox via repository, includes disabling enterprise repo. Okay, so basically we need to run this command in the Proxmox shell. So what does this do? That downloads the bash script from GitHub and executes it. Okay, I'm going to trust it. I mean, not that you should really ever trust downloading random scripts off the internet and immediately executing them. It's probably bad form, but hey ho, let's do it. How do we run a script on here? Summary, notes, storage. It's not clear how we do that. Did that say anything else? Did it say complete the post-installation process for Proxmox v7? Copy and run the following command in the Proxmox shell. Where is the Proxmox shell? Don't think that's exactly what we want. I think that's just managing your Proxmox server from the command line. Interesting. Interesting. How do we run this command? So those of you who've done this before are probably shouting at the screen. What I'm thinking, and it's going to be slightly annoying, is we can almost certainly log back in here. And I'm fairly convinced we should be able to just type in that command at least. If I can find what the command is, which is so we are doing bash -c just runs a command. That command is a subshell which does wget dash ql zeros. Okay, well let's just see what this does. Well, that may or may not have done something. I don't think that's done anything, and the reason I think that is the guide that we're looking at says it's recommended to answer yes to all of the questions presented during this process, and I didn't get no questions. Let's just see if we can. Let's just make sure we can get that script. Oh, I see what I've done. I think that's PVE. Ah, here we go. Right, start the PV7 post install script. Yes, please. Disable the enterprise repository. Yes, please. Add, yeah. Enable no subscription. Yes. Add disabled beta test. Yeah. Disable subscription nag. Yes. Update Proxmox V7 now. Yes. That's a very nice script. Thank you very much, T-Tech. Oh, and whilst that's running in the background, I'll just show you. Whilst clicking around in the interface, I've actually found what we were looking for. So rather than clicking on data center or any of these nodes, if you click on the PVE one of the options is shell. And I think that gives us basically what we were looking at, but that's fine. We'll stick with what we're doing for now. We've got another one. Do we want to reboot? Yes, we do. But we know for next time, that's where the shell's located. Okay, we're back. And I've just been reading ahead a little bit. So we've now done this bit. Everything should be up to date and running. If I come back here and refresh, we have Proxmox back running, which is lovely. And we've got the shell we actually need, because next step is to run another one of these commands, and this command is going to install Home Assistant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and hopefully just paste this straight into there. This will create a new Home Assistant here. I think that's exactly what I want. Do I want the default settings? What's the recommendation on here? Default settings for most, yeah, okay, let's use default settings. This is now extracting the disk image. Ooh, error. This isn't good. Starting Home Assistant KVM virtualization configured but not available. Either disable VM configuration or enabling the BIOS. Oh, so I thought I already enabled this, but never mind. Let's jump back to the BIOS and have a look. I think we can. I'm going to assume there's a reboot command. Oh. Enabled. Oh, F10 to accept. That's where we've gone wrong. And then, do we have to save and exit? There we go. Apply, save changes and exit. Yes. Right, that should enable the virtualization now. I think I may have exited without applying the changes last time. So I suspect that's created the VM, but it couldn't start it. So once this comes back up, what we should be able to do is, well, honestly, I don't know, but I'm hoping that we can find that virtual machine and just start it. If not, we should be able to run that script again, and I think that'll be absolutely fine. Okay, that looks like we've got the login screen, so let's flick back to here and see where we're at. Let's just refresh. So do we have any Virtual machines, VM disks. Perhaps not. Let's try run this command again. Yeah, I don't think it could have created it because it's using the same machine ID again. Okay, successfully completed. And this must be machine 100, which is our VirtualBox Home Assistant machine, which has, I guess, by default been given 4 GB of RAM and 2 CPUs, which sounds absolutely perfect to me. It has this IP address, which might just be available on the network. Oh, look at this. Preparing Home Assistants. This can take 20 minutes. Well, I'm going to record this, but for you, I promise it'll be a lot quicker. Okay, that didn't take nearly as long. But let's fill these in. Where is my home? It's very much not in Amsterdam. We are in the UK. GB? Is it GB? Is that the code? Yeah, GB. Language is very much EN for English. Time zone is... Ooh, we're actually GMT +1 now. Which is nice. We've got some nice light nights. I mean, we're London, but London's GMT +1. I'm going to select London and let it figure it out. My elevation... Probably don't need to know right now. It's going to be on the order of 220 meters probably above sea level. Yeah, we use metric. Currency is GBP here. GB. I feel like you should be able to just set. Or maybe you can. Maybe this whole detect thing just figures it out. Right, what do we want? Do we want this? Basic information about your system. No. I'm happy to not be monitored. Fantastic. And there we are. We've got Home Assistant installed. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in this, I'll do some follow-ups on configuring things, getting stuff set up. As you'll have seen, there's a few devices around the house that it's picked up on. I've got a couple of Shellys installed recently, which is one of the motivations for getting Home Assistant. I want to get some buttons set up and trying to get some automation, and maybe some sensors, and just sort of expand my home automation world. Like I say, if you're interested, we can follow up more videos. If this video completely tanks and nobody likes it, then we won't. But either way, remember, like, subscribe. If you like the console reviews, if you like this type of video, or just tech stuff in general, yeah, do absolutely subscribe. There's plenty coming. But thanks for watching.